Hi guys, I'm back! I'm so excited to bring you today's video. It's something that you guys have been asking for. It's something you've been excited about when I said I might do it. So we're gonna do it today. Today is gonna be a haul video. I've never done a haul. I don't really collect items. I'm not a big collector in horror. I don't really have the space for it in my house. I love seeing other people's collections, but I'm just not a big collector. But when you go on the trip of a lifetime, which I'll talk about in a second, sometimes you pick up some souvenirs along the way, and this time I kind of went all out and I got some things that I guess could start a collection. I don't think I will, but it was just too good to pass up at the time, so I really want to share that with you. But this is kind of based on the idea of horror oddities and horror curiosity shops, which I'm a huge lover of. I love going into those strange vintage horror shops, and you have a lot of them across the USA. So I definitely made several stops and into museums and things like that as well. This video is going to be at the start of some of my USA videos. If you guys didn't know, I went to the United States of America and as well I went to Vancouver about a month ago, and I went for 3 weeks, and we did a road trip all the way down from Seattle to LA. We went everywhere. We also went to Vegas on the way. So we did the whole coast, and we stopped in a lot of really cool places. Hopefully this will be a great guide for you guys who want to go see oddity stores. I'll give you a little bit of a rundown of the good ones and what I liked. But also this video is going to act like an overall kind of guide for you, because out of what I'm going to talk about today, I've got 4 different videos that are going to spring out of this, of different things I went to that I really want to talk to you about in detail, and I've shot separate content for that. So this is just the haul and the oddity stores, but there's more to come. Keep in mind that this is just the horror stuff I did. I did a lot of stuff on my trip, and most of this is on my highlight reel if you want to check it out on Instagram and have a look at the videos of me like walking around each store. That is on Spooky Astronauts, and you just go to the newest highlights, which is like USA Part 1 and Part 2. So if you want to check it out, you can definitely go on Instagram. That's where I shared all of this in real time. Also, it's definitely worth mentioning, hi, if you don't know who I am Emma, also known as Spooky Astronauts here on YouTube. This is a very different video for me. I don't normally do hauls. I do love curiosity shops, and I do want to do a lot more content on that. But what I usually do is 2 new videos a week, usually a movie review. I do lists, I do discussions, I do analysis, I do deep dive interviews with directors and actors. I do a lot of horror content, talking about horror in movies and horror in real life. So if you are passionate in horror and you are interested in being part of the community, you can hit subscribe, or you can go check out some of my reviews that probably give you a better idea of what my channel is about, because this video is a little bit different. But I did do a review of Dr. Sleep if you want to check that out, and I'd love to have you here. So let's jump in, guys. Where I started, I didn't really do anything spooky in Vancouver. I did go on my first like light show pumpkin carving thing, but I don't have anything from that. The trip really for this merchandise, I'm gonna call it, I have it all laid out here. It's embarrassing how much. Also want to say, I don't spend money on myself really. When I go on trips, I go all out. That's what I save all my money for. And this is my own 9-to-5 job money. People just assume I'm some YouTuber up here going on like really expensive trips with 30,000 subscribers. Not the case. I work really hard to be able to go and do this cool stuff. And if you do want to go on these kind of trips, really use this as motivation, because you can totally do it. And a lot of you guys live in America. It's a lot easier for you to get over there. So anyway, get your pen and paper ready, because we're going to start. In Seattle, we started off by going to the Ye Olde Curiosity Shop, and this is a curiosity shop kind of on the waterfront. Actually, I should mention really quickly, I did go to Pike Markets, and they have a really cool magician shop. It's kind of like a Houdini based magician shop. I was obsessed because it was the first kind of weird ass horror store I'd seen. I don't know if you count that as horror, but I do. And I got these 2 cards just because I was so excited. One is the Houdini Master Mystifier. I love Houdini. If you guys want to know more about my love for Houdini, I talked about him a bit in my horror books, my horror oddity books video, if you want to check that out. And then I picked up this Sheila the Fortune Teller. It was also the first time, I don't have the fortune card, but it was one of the first times I got one of these. I don't know which one this one's from. The fortune cards, you know, out of the machines. I think Elvis did it there. They don't have these really in Australia. I haven't seen them as much as in America. They were everywhere in America. I got a fortune every single time I saw one, so I'm so cheesy. So about 20 to 30 minutes walk outside the Pike Markets, we went to the Ye Olde Curiosity shop in Seattle. I'm going to do a video on this completely. I do not have anything here, but I did think it was very much worth mentioning that I had my first ever paranormal experience ever in this store. And if you want to go have a look on the Instagram, you might get an idea of why, but I've never experienced anything paranormal in my life. I've had some kind of stories when I was a kid, but I don't really know, like looking back. A lot of people tell me you should do paranormal, you know, stories, and I'm like, if I don't have anything paranormal to tell, what can I say? But something really weird happened to me in that shop, so I do want to reference that right now. It was one of the first oddity shops I went to. But from there we went to the Pop Museum, which is the pop culture museum. And oh my gosh, in Seattle, you need to go to this place. It is totally worth it. I think tickets were kind of pricey. I think they were like 30 to 40 bucks, but so worth it because they have a whole horror exhibit. They have like a horror, a sci-fi, fantasy, like it's all over the place. But the horror exhibit was amazing. If you guys saw my pictures, I was freaking out. I saw so many things from Pet Sematary, which if you guys don't know, Pet Sematary is one of my favorite horror movies. It's one of my favorite books of all time. I'm such a big fan, and they had the ankle that they were sliced open and it was just amazing. They had Judd's head. It was so cool. They also had the Blair Witch Project, which I love the Blair Witch Project. More on that later. But they had the camera and like the sticks, and it was just really well fitted out. There was some really cool photo ops. Really love that exhibit. It made me want to cry. So I stopped by the gift store on the way out. I do not collect Pop Funkos, and I know that this is not exclusive to the Pop Museum, but because I had just saw all of this Pet Sematary stuff, I picked up Gage and Church as a Pop Funko because it was really cute that they had them both together, and I hadn't seen this one before. Sure, you can get it online, but it was a perfect thing to remember my time there. I also picked up some other stuff. I picked up a keyring of the creature from the Black Lagoon. Again, I know it's not exclusive to the Pop Museum, but it was like the first horror stuff I saw on the trip, and I got the Scream socks, which I saw these in a couple of shops as I went on, but so cute. I love horror socks. I don't wear a lot of horror shirts, but horror socks, my God. I wear socks all the time once it gets cooler, and yeah, love that. I really went all out when I went to this first place. I then got a couple of shirts that I picked up. I got the Labyrinth t-shirt. I got a Pet Sematary shirt, which I love this. Kind of looks like a band shirt, like Ramone kind of style, love that. And of course, I got this because I knew I was going to do more alien stuff and I really wanted to wear this to somewhere, which I'll talk about soon. I got my Mars Attack shirt, which I love. If you guys didn't know I like alien stuff, you will in a sec. So from there, let's skip forward in the trip to Portland. I love Portland. It was one of my favorite places, I think. Everywhere was so good, to be honest, in such a different way. We went to the FREAKYBUTTRUE PECULIARIum. I'm sure I'm not saying that right. It was a really tiny museum. It was like a couple of rooms big, like a very independent feel to it. I really recommend it if you live in Portland. Really cool. And had a lot of photo ops again, but also like a lot of interactive, like fun museum things. It was like an oddity store where you could kind of read everything and you're kind of cramped in with a lot of things everywhere. So if you're claustrophobic, probably don't go there. They also have a coffin, what do you call it, simulator. I couldn't do it. I was too scared. You get in there, you hear a beating heart. It was intense. But my favorite thing there is they had this really cool like miniature dollhouse that was all horror themed and had things throughout it. It's amazing. I'm not gonna give away too much because obviously I believe you guys should go there, and if I'm recommending it to you, definitely go and check it out for yourself. Highly recommend that. I think that the tickets were really cheap, like $12 or $15 or something like that. Actually, $5. I lie. I've got the tickets right here, $5. Huge fan of this. It says Oddity Museum Gallery Store Terror. So definitely go check this out. It's in Portland. It was kind of just a weird store. It wasn't really completely horror based, but it was definitely weird. Oh, I missed something. I should mention as well on the way out of Seattle, and I guess this still counts with Portland as well, is I got a Sasquatch mug. I got so many mugs. As you just saw, I got this mug as well. So very much into the mugs as souvenirs. This is the kind of household I live in. We need to take away like a carrier for mugs every time we go away because we got 6 on this trip. So moving on, we went to Sacramento on the way to San Fran, but I do want to mention before I get into San Fran, I met Sarah! If you guys don't know, Sarah Possessed by Horror, I met her. I was very excited. We went and had coffee and she was amazing. And I definitely thought that was worth mentioning in this horror haul, that was just the best experience. So love her, and I'm so glad that we just got to meet, and yeah, it was cool. It was cool meeting so many other horror people, and I do have a couple of other horror people I met along the way. So keep watching. So in San Fran, I did go to a couple of different like oddity stores. They are on my Instagram, go check them out. I didn't really buy anything there. They had taxidermy, and some of the taxidermy I think is really cool, but some of it like really creeped me out. And there was something in one of the oddity stores there, which was in the Mission District, I believe, and it really creeped me out. If you want to know what it is, like DM me on Instagram and I'll tell you, but I don't feel comfortable saying what it was here, because I don't think that YouTube would like it, and I don't think that you guys would like it. So I feel a little bit weird about that. Yeah, there's some things that cross the line, and one of the last things in this video that I will talk about definitely crossed a line for me, but we'll get there, we'll get there. But what I did do is I went to ALCATRAZ, yay, and I got an ALCATRAZ little mug. ALCATRAZ is definitely worth going to if you're going to San Fran. I know people who live in San Fran and still haven't gone there. You need to go to ALCATRAZ. The tour books up really early, so you really need to get in quickly. But also, we went on the night tour, and if you go on the night tour, it opens up after the tour because it's an audio tour, and then they also tell different stories about the inmates and go into more detail. So it's the same price, I believe, and it's definitely worth going at night if you have the choice, especially if you're on holiday. I find it really hard to get activities instead of just going out and drinking at night. So if you're looking for something to like expand your day and like, you know, fit in the most amount, instead of going to ALCATRAZ during the day, it's a good option to go at night. Highly recommend. It was really insane to be there, and the audio tour is really well done, and really interesting. The tour moves really well, and it's well oiled, which I really like about some of the tours. So highly recommend ALCATRAZ. This is a little bit of horror shopping that happened when I went to AMOEBA, which AMOEBA is like a vinyl, CD, music, movie store. It's huge. They have one in San Fran, and I know they have one in LA that I believe is closing down soon. I'm not sure where else they have them, but my boyfriend, my fiance, Dean, was really into going there. He loves, we have so many vinyls, he loves collecting, so he wanted to go check it out. So I went in, and obviously I went to the movie section first. This is when I talk about collecting. I'm not a collector, but apparently now I am, because I was going through the VHS section. We don't have a VHS section in Australian shops. Even in thrift shopping and stuff like that, which in Australia we call op shopping, they don't have a lot of options, especially for this kind of stuff. So when I saw these and at the price they were, I had to, like I absolutely had to, which is so insane because they're so chunky, hard to bring back. But I have 3 of my favorite movies of all time on VHS now. And I loved watching VHS. I don't have a player right now, but these will be beautiful decorations that I will treasure. Can you guys guess? I'll give you 5 seconds to guess what these movies are. Okay, did you guess? Okay. Number 1, Fight Club is one of my favorite movies. It's like what I founded my love of film on, pretty much. Yeah, I would say this definitely changed my life. Second, my girl, Blair Witch. Third one, if you guys haven't heard me go on my Silence of the Lambs rant before, pretty much I think this is a 10 out of 10 movie. I don't think anything should be changed in it. I love this film. And then I think it was 4 and you get 1 free. So I was like, I'm already getting those 3. So I picked up Taxi Driver, which is one of my, like, I really love this film. I don't know if it would be my top 10, at least my top 20. But I thought, yeah, I could give it to someone if it doesn't fit on my shelf. But if not, like, how amazing does that look? Like, I can't. I'm so proud of getting these. I'm so glad I brought them all the way back. Very happy with that. Also, this is just a jump forward. These are from AMOEBA, but they're actually from AMOEBA in LA. But because we're talking about AMOEBA anyway, I thought I would just link these in. We had another look when we went to the LA store, and I found the Laserdisc of my favorite ever Vincent Price movie. And a lot of people don't talk about Theatre of Blood, but it's my favorite Vincent Price film, and I'm obsessed with it. And I saw this, and it was secondhand. It was really cheap. It was just a couple of dollars. And I don't have a Laserdisc player, but I mean, in the future I might. But it was in such good quality and it was only a couple of bucks. I had to. I also picked up the new special edition. This is my favorite film of the year. A lot of people keep asking me, what's your favorite horror movie this year? Still us, guys. It will always be us. Unless Black Christmas actually blows us away, I think I'm stuck with us. I love this film so much. And this is the special like edition. I haven't taken it out yet, but I actually listened to the soundtrack quite a bit. I was going back and forth, like, do I really need to get this special edition, you know, vinyl? And again, as I said, I don't really collect a lot of stuff. I don't really have a lot of material objects. Do I really need this? It's expensive, blah, blah, blah. But then I realized I actually listen to this soundtrack all the time on Spotify, and I absolutely love this soundtrack. So if anything, it is actually getting a soundtrack and also a film that I love. I listen to the score like at least 6 times a week. So very happy with that. And I love the mirror on the back. I don't know if you guys can tell because it's still in the wrapping, but it's like the, you know, Vision Quest mirror, which I love. It's so cool. I need to take this out and do a proper like reveal, so stay tuned on my Instagram for that. The last place we hit up in San Fran was the Haight District. I hope I'm saying that's the right name for the district. It's the area anyway. We stayed in Lower Haight and that was Haight. Anyway, the street there is just like full of really cool, like outlandish hippie kind of stores. It really reminds me of Camden in London, and I went to a store called Love to Death, which I had written down before I went there as something I needed to stop by. They had a lot of like witchy kind of things. They are described as a vampire shop by some people, I don't know why, but it had a lot of like witchy spells. Yeah, just cool oddity kind of things. But I saw this and I was looking for something really similar to like put little trinkets next to my bed in, and I got this little beautiful silver snake little trinket tray. I don't know what you call it. I just saw it and I was like, this is really cool. I should go home and find something similar. And then I thought, or I could buy it here and it's like a souvenir. So I got this guy. Smells a little bit weird after being in the packaging for so long, but very happy with this one. Little tiny snake, very cute. Cute to put like little jewelry and stones and stuff in. You know, my little witch brew. So heading out of San Fran, we stopped at a few places on the way out, including the Winchester house. I went to the actual Winchester house. This is actually my fortune that got told, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it is. You know, coming out of the machine once again. I'm such a sucker for these things. I think they're so cool. So we went to the Winchester house in San Jose. I was a little bit disappointed, and I don't really want to put anyone on blast because I feel bad, this is someone's job, but we had a really bad tour guide who just didn't know what they were saying the whole time. They kept mixing things up. And I'm not saying because I know the facts, they just kept mixing their words, like mincing their words. Trust me, I realize how ironic this is. I'm the worst speaker on YouTube, but she just didn't make much sense and didn't give much information about the house. We obviously did the walkthrough, and yeah, it was just a little bit sad because we saw another tour when we were walking around the house, and we could hear the information they was getting told, and it was so much more informative and interesting, and yeah, there was just a lot where we would walk into a room and she would be like, there's a window, and we'd be like, and? But it was really cool just seeing the house yourself and how weird it was, and the whole spirit room stuff is so creepy. You can't film in there either, but you can take photos. But again, I think it's something that's worth going through yourself. But I did get this amazing mug, which I think is my favorite mug of all the mugs I got, which is the Winchester House mug, yay! Cute little red mug, Winchester Mystery House, loved it. Huge fan. We went to Vegas next and I got to meet Lizzie from Carnage Candy. If you guys don't know Lizzie, I love her. She was so sweet. She's exactly how she is in her videos. Definitely check her out. I'll link her channel down below. And we had a lot of fun together. We actually went to, and this is gonna be a video in itself because I can't even explain to you how intense this experience was. It completely changed me. It was the best thing I did on my whole trip. We went to the Bagan's museum. Oh my God. I mean, I'm gonna go into it myself because I really don't, I've got stuff to say about it, but I got a hoodie. That's how much I appreciated it. I really want to explain my experience because I think a lot of people feel a certain way about him, and so do I. So I just want to say, this is some of the stuff I got. I got this. And I got a skeleton key, which I thought, I mean, it is literally just like a skeleton on a key. But I thought it was a really cool memento, and I think this would look really cool if I like put a nail and like put it on my wall with all my artwork thought it's like a really nice touch, some texture. Anyway, absolutely love that museum, and I have so much more to say about it, but it was amazing going through with Lizzie. And if you're looking for something to do in Vegas, number one, go there. Number two, if you're looking for something to do, if you have a whole day in Vegas to do something else, some of you guys know stuff about me already. If you didn't know, my boyfriend plays poker and he does a really good job of it. So he was playing poker in Vegas when we were there. So what's a girl to do but to drive out to Area 51 by herself? And I have a whole vlog on that I'm gonna give you guys the whole experience. I kind of feel like a lot of people know what Area 51 is like, or if you've been there, you know all about it, so it might not be very interesting. But for people like me who are in Australia and don't have that opportunity all the time to like go out there, it's very interesting to learn like really what it's like. So anyway, I went to the Little Alien Inn, which is where everyone goes, and you know, a few postcards along the way of some family and friends. That was a really cool experience. It's something I've wanted to do my whole entire life, so it was really exciting. And then on the way out of Vegas, we also stopped at the Alien Hotel, UFO Hotel, or what do they call them? The UFO Hotel, but it's also called the Alien Fresh Jerky. It's in Baker, California, and I got like a, I haven't opened this yet, and I got a big ass, oh my god, how big is this? I got a big ass alien shirt. Oh my god, it's huge. For bed. Really like psychedelic one. Dean got a little die with like a little alien stuff on it, and we also got a key ring, magnet, and then I got a patch, and this is for my dog Gromit. He has like a jacket that we put patches on when we go away, so yeah, we got that. I really loved going there. That was a really cool experience. If you do stop by Baker on the way out, you can see it straight from, what is that, the I-5, I guess? I don't know, I think everything's the I-5 in America. We were on the I-5 for so long. You pretty much see where it is on the way through and just pull over. They have some really cool props out the front. They have some props inside. They have a Trump alien giving out fortunes. So mega weird, but it's very American. From there, we went to LA, and when we first got into LA, I went to HHN, Halloween Horror Nights, and I actually have a whole vlog on the VIP experience because I couldn't find any information if the VIP experience was worth it to anyone, and I felt like putting a video out of that would be really informative to people, what they're actually getting for their money. So I've got a whole vlog about the whole experience and explaining it all and what you get and what it's like. But a few days after that, I had my meetup, which I was so excited. Thank you to everyone who came. You guys were amazing. I met some really cool people who I've spoken to a lot online. I met some people who hadn't spoken to me at all in the comments, and it was really lovely to meet you guys. And I also met some people who had channels that I knew, Horror Hack, Jimmy Champagne, and then also Horror Gal, Susan, who is like my oldest friend, one of my oldest friends on YouTube, so that was really cool to meet her, and we just hit it off straight away. Also met up with Patreon Felix, who is one of my faves. It was just amazing. It was an amazing day, and Susan and my boyfriend and I, we went to go to the Day of the Dead festival afterwards, which was really cool. And then a couple of days later, Susan and I decided to go to the Museum of Death. Okay, here, you ready for your rant? This is the weirdest, not the weirdest, I don't even know how to explain it. This is the place that made me feel the weirdest, but not in a paranormal way. Museum of Death is something that I've always heard about. It is in like Central Hollywood. It's a museum which is like 15 bucks, 17 bucks to go through, and it has like, you know, a lot of cult stuff, a lot of serial killer stuff, but then also just a lot of death, and you know, how people went, how people passed, and photos of it. And my issue was with some of the photos of it, I'm not like, you know, things don't burn in my mind that often. I'm not really worried about grotesque things, but some of the stuff, the way that people die was in such humiliating, awful ways. And to think that if you died by someone murdering you and doing sexual things to your body, and you being put in a museum on display for everyone to see, to pay admission, to walk through. I just don't feel really cool with that. And the fact that the pictures weren't always photos, they were, you know, printed out from the internet, and some of them had logos from different companies on them. So it was almost like they found these on the deep web and they printed them out. They do say that they have all the rights and it's all their photos. You're not allowed to take photos in there and stuff. But some of it, I'm like, who did you pay to get this? Like, it's pretty gross. Also, throughout all of the things I went through, I saw a lot of stuff that was very serial killer related. A lot of it was in Zach Bagan's museum, which was like the real deal, which I'll talk about in a different video. But in this one, they, you know, it was like shrines almost, you know, when they have all their pictures and, you know, their thoughts and how those people really feel, like the serial killers. It feels a little bit shriny at points, and you're like, what am I paying for? Am I really paying to like profit, for these people to profit off what these people did? It's very interesting. I didn't get anything from this museum because I felt very weird about it. The whole time I felt weird about those kind of things, and you know, it's always been a topic of hot discussion whether serial killer, you know, memorabilia is a good thing or a bad thing, and tattoos and all that kind of stuff. And you know, I'm not here to tell anyone what to think or how to feel. That's totally up to them. As long as it's not hurting anyone else and it's not like, you know, in the victim's family's faces, that's cool. But when you put it on a museum wall, someone else's gruesome, undignified death, it's pretty horrendous. There's just one picture in particular that I'm really talking about, but I can't actually talk about what it is here because I'm already demonetized, I'm sure, but this would actually, you know, blacklist this video because it's really dark. Yeah. Because a lot of stuff I do understand why they can put it up. If there's car crash deaths, I understand that because it's stopping people from drink driving, texting, all that kind of stuff I understand. But some of the stuff I don't understand why they had it there. The cool stuff about it is they have a lot about the embalming process, how they help cover wounds for funerals and things like that. And they have a lot of rooms that are like set up like funeral homes. I thought that was like creepy and cool because it's like bordering the line of like death and mortality, and that's something that everyone can think about and everyone has an opinion on because everyone dies. So I thought that kind of stuff was really interesting, but I would warn you that it is very extreme. And going into it, I knew that. It wasn't like it rattled me, it just shocked me that that was okay for people to put on their wall. And then I read the ticket afterwards, which is really interesting, and I really want to read it to you guys. By using this ticket, the holder voluntarily assumes all risk and danger incidental to visiting the Museum of Death. Whether such risks occur visiting or after, including but not exclusively the danger of being injured by viewing exhibits, loss of consciousness, slipping, falling, being pushed, falling objects, or any other occurrences that may happen while visiting the Museum of Death. The holder further agrees that the Museum of Death employees and agents are not liable for any injuries. This is the best part though, you ready? Warning, warning, warning. The Museum of Death may cause headaches, seizures, epilepsy, PTSD, appetite loss, double vision, divorce, and many other problems. I'm sorry, divorce? What the f? Enter at your own risk. Also, the guy at the desk, I'm sure no one will ever see this from there, but the guy at the desk was extremely rude to me. He couldn't understand my accent, which is totally fine, but he kind of like mocked it a little bit when he realized what I was saying. But let's end on a good note, guys. One of the coolest oddities you can go to in America, in my opinion, I've only been to like 4 states now, is the Mystic Museum. Woo! I love this place so much. When I went, they had the exhibition on the Evil Dead. They had rooms, they had photo ops, they had props. The owners of the shop were really nice, really cool. I got my future told once again, but they gave you, this is the ticket, which has like the Evil Dead stuff on there. It says groovy, Mystic Museum, love this. Such a good keepsake. And you also got like a little pin of the Evil Dead, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, huge fan of this place. I thought it was amazing. I have a couple of photos I'm gonna put up on my Instagram, probably on my feed. That's how much I love them. But huge fan. The shop is in Burbank in LA, and there's a whole heap of horror shops along that strip, including Halloween Town, which was closed, which I'm really mad about because it says Halloween all year on it, but it's closed the week after Halloween, which is when we happen to go anyway. But this definitely made up for it, and huge fan of it. Okay guys, that is the conclusion of my horror haul. All of the horror souvenirs that I got when I was away. I'm sure I'm missing a lot of them. I tried to like keep them out so that I had them ready to go. Now I can finally put everything away. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I'm here twice a week to talk about horror stuff with you, and I have so much horror content coming up to do with this. My paranormal experience, going to Area 51, Zach Bagan's, and of course my RIP tour that I need to talk about. Anyway, I'm gonna sprinkle that in with a whole lot of horror reviews and content coming your way. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and let me know if this list helped, and let me know what an oddity store is near you. I'd love to know, and one day I'd love to come check it out. I love you guys very much, and I'll talk to you soon. Stay spooky.